Turn with me, if you will, to the first book in the Old Testament called Genesis, chapter 32. Genesis chapter 32. Genesis chapter 32, we shall end reading at verse 21. Genesis means the beginning. Chapter 32, verse 21 reads as follows. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. He rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over before Japheth. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. I'll repeat that again. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hath prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doth ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew, that's muscle, which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, until this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. For just a few minutes, I want to talk from the subject, favor, fever. Favor, fever. I hear a lot of people talking about favor. I have God's favor. God has favored me. But my question is, how bad do you want it? That we act as though God just bestows favor on anybody. But there are some criteria you must meet in order to possess that favor. I contend Jacob had what I call favor fever. He wanted it bad. Let me kind of bring up the stuff. We're still dealing with this series of Jesus in the Old Testament. We got Jacob, one of the patriarchs, and we have Jacob here going back to meet his brother Esau. Those Bible students know that when he left, he kind of left things messed up. He had just stolen Esau's birthright. He got his blessing. And he was on his way to his uncle's house. And he basically leaves empty-handed. To Jacob's positive characteristic. He really put value on God's blessing him. That's all the time. Y'all would have been fussing over the stuff. Esau got all the stuff. Jacob wanted the blessing. Do I have a witness here? That's a sermon right there. Come on. That I contend with all of his trickery, with all of his problems, his hunger, his yearning for blessings, for God's favor, for God's blessing on his life is really what sets him apart from the rest of his peers. He is in a class by himself, and he was the second of two twins, and the first supposed to receive it all. But God had already told his mama the second would be ahead of the first. Do I have a witness here? He got this parade of folk, and Jacob, he was a trickster to the end. Man. He got a parade of stuff. He lines up his servants. He gives them gifts to give his brother. They're going like a parade in sections. He gives them a speech. When you see my brother, he asks, what is this? Tell him, these belong to your servant Jacob. And he has sent it to you. I wish I had a witness. Oh, that's a sermon right there. All of them lined up, coming one after the other. In other words, he's trying to work on Esau's head. Because he's scared Esau gonna whoop his head. Do I have a witness? So he's trying to get it right. Now, make sure I say, your servant Jacob. Not your brother Jacob, your servant Jacob. And this belongs to you. And I mean, he sent him a whole lot of stuff. He got them all lined up. They're going like a parade down the street. But then the trickster is even there. I don't have time to go through all of it. But the things he cared about the least, he put them up front. So if Esau could be killing for me, which I had a witness here. He even put Leah and her children ahead of Rachel and her children. Y'all don't hear me. Well, that's a sermon right there. But anyway, he got this thing going on, and the Bible says it was the night before, and he is about to go to sleep, and he sends his wives across. The wives, he'd already sent some servants ahead, they're already marching, but he sends his wives across last that evening, and the Bible says he was alone. Jacob was alone, I think around verse 24, and Jacob was left alone. That's why I want to start. I want to start talking about the spiritual solitude. All right. The spiritual solitude. When you start talking about favor, you always will run into this matter of solitude. You can't have favor without having time alone with God. I'm gonna preach. I don't care what y'all say. You gotta have time alone with God. It's the time alone with God that will separate you from the rest of your people. It's your time alone with God that will strengthen you spiritually. You can't expect to be blessed. You can't expect to have favor unless you expect to spend time alone with God. And I like the way the Bible put it. He'd already sent his stuff away. He'd already sent his wives away. He'd already sent his children away. And the Bible says he left alone with God. Because you see, when you're with God, God has a way of stripping you of all that you possess. You might be a king with other folk, but with God, you're just another man. You may have all kinds of possessions. You may have the finest clothes in the world, but in God's eyesight, you still naked. And y'all better hear me today. You can wear your $10,000 outfit if you want. You can have your diamonds and furs. You can wear all of your luxury, but when you stand before God, you stand naked. God has a spiritual X-ray. You can talk about all your accomplishments, and you can talk about your who's who, and you can talk about who you know and your connection. You can brag on your network, but when you stand before God, you stand alone. Okay, your time with God yourself. The way you really are. You know what? Sometimes we get caught up in our press. We believe what folk tell us. And if you're not careful, you start believing people telling you you are all this and you are all that. But every now and then God has a way of pulling you in your secret closet. And God says, I know who you are. I know you think you fool everybody else. But I was there when you went so and so. I was there when you did so and so. I was there when that thought was running through your mind. You didn't do it, but you sure thought about it. You went on, and I know who you are. God has a way of making me look at me the way I really am. You know, you look at these movie stars and you see their pictures, and we found out that's not really them. You see what they do? They take a picture, but then they go back and brush it up. Oh, y'all hear me today? They see a wrinkle, they brush it out. They see a spot, they cover it up. And they see their hair, they don't look quite right. They know how to brush. They either add some to it or take some away. They know how to do what it takes to make you look better than you really look. Come on. But God says, I know you. I know the real you. Oh, I wish I had a witness up in here. That's why some men got shot. You know, he got married with the glamour picture. He got married to the glamour shot. But when he woke up the next morning, he saw the real deal. Oh, well, it ain't just a lady thing. They got some men, got some, I wish I had them in this deal. They got some men, got some glamour secrets too. All hair you see ain't his. I wish I had them in this. Jacob understands he has a need to be better. And he is asking God to give him something that he really does not deserve. I wish I had y'all. Somebody here know what I'm talking about. You know when you ask God to give you stuff that you really didn't deserve, you'd be asking for in this earth plane. Lord, bless me to get with my brother so that we can have a good family reunion. And you know what? The devil got a way of wiping stuff out of your mind. I found out some people have what I call selective amnesia. You know, they do dirt and they forget the dirt they did you. Come on. But they can always remember what you did then. I wish I had a witness here. Jacob, asking God to bless his fellowship, his reunion with his brother. And when he spends his time with God, God has to wake him up. Shake him up. You know, it ain't that you crazy. You know what you did, but sometimes you got to have a wake-up call. You know, I found out I love movies. There's some movies I can watch over and over again. There's some movies I watch, I can tell you the lyrics better than the actors, because they forget their line. They look at me and say, what should I say next? I mean, I know the words, but as well as I watch the movies, there's two things I found out. Every time I watch a movie over again, I always spot something I didn't see before. Which I have a witness here. And when you're watching these old movies, sometimes you not only spot something you haven't seen before, but when you watch those old movies, you start seeing some things that are really special. That you start seeing some things that are really deep. That even though you've seen it before, it still makes an impact on you. Jacob says, I need to be better. Let me hurry up. I not only see the spiritual solitude, and I can stay there all day, but I also see the soul struggle. The soul struggle. The Bible says he's alone, but he's wrestling. Y'all missed it. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man. How you gonna be alone? every soul. Every Christian, every born-again Christian has an assigned angel. All folks said all night. Somebody. All day. Angels keep watching over me. I think that's biblical. That God assigns everybody an angel. And your angel has the responsibility of watching over you. Do I have a witness here? But you can't expect an angel to help you do wrong. Come on. See, an angel can't promote your actions when your actions are against God. No, you're right. Oh, yeah. You can say what you want. Look, God is on my side. God is on your side if you're doing the right thing. God ain't going to be on your side if you're robbing a bank. I wish I had a witness here. I told you about that time I was coming back from prison. And Sister Jordan, I preached all the Lord let me preach. You folk was shouting. We had a hallelujah good time. And I was so high, I was just having a good time. I had a spiritual high. I'm singing all the way home. And I from there got on 45 in that little section there where they got them speed traps. And the front of the policeman pulled me over for speeding. And I was all like, Lord, I just got through sacrificing for you. I just got through preaching. I had to drive way past up here. What's that over there? Well, Tennessee College. I went to Tennessee College in Beto, and I'm preaching. I got to drive all the way. I got no help. I just went there that day. Had to drive all the way back because I came in from Beaumont. Had to drive all the way back home, and I'm all happy because I preached good, and now I got a ticket. And I'm fussing with God. Why would you let me get a ticket and I'm trying to praise you? And God said, you didn't get a ticket because you preached good. You got a ticket because you were speeding. Y'all don't hear me. They don't care about how well you preach. They don't care how close you are to the Lord. If you break the law, come on here somebody. If you do the crime, you got to do the... And you know, there's a lot of folk who ain't trying to treat God like that. You think you like Abraham, God's chosen, that you can do any and everything and think God's going to endorse your mess. But God don't stand by any kind of mess. If you want God on your side, you better make sure you're on the right side. Oh, yeah, he's struggling. It says a man. It says an angel. This angel is wrestling with him. He's asking for a blessing that he doesn't deserve. And now he's wrestling. But he ain't just wrestling no regular kind of wrestling. Brother Jack said he has to wrestle all night long. Well, y'all better hear me today. You might not shout, but you ought to be better. You should be better when you leave here today. But see, a lot of you need to be wrestling too. You need to stop lying to yourself. Get away from mama lying to you. Get away from your husband lying to you and your wife lying to you. Get away from your children lying to you. Get in a room by yourself with God. Because I can declare to you, God will not lie to you. God will tell you who you really are. And he'll tell you what's really going on. See, when you leave home and you go to a strange place where people don't know you, you can take on a whole new persona. But now he back home. Now he got to go back to Esau. Now he got to go back to the man he done misused. You can play holy in some places, but some places you can't pretend you holy. Y'all hear me now. Y'all know some of y'all don't go to class reunion because you know they know you wasn't holy all your life. I wish I had a witness here. Some of y'all can pretend you all that in high school, but when you go back to your classroom, they'll tell you the real deal. Some of y'all can act like you're okay in public, but when you go back home, brother, tell the ones who went to bed. Y'all wish they'll tell all your secrets if you don't watch out. And you got favor which he does not deserve.
Yeah.
So he's wrestling with this man, this angel, if you will. He said, I saw God. He thinks he's God. I wish I had a witness here. He thinks he's God because he's powerful. He thinks he's God because he has enough power to mess his hip up. I wish I had a witness here. And somebody said he's an angel. He's wrestling with this angel who said, let me go because it's about to take daybreak. You know, if you watch those Dracula movies, those spirits said, I can't let light hit me. I was, you know, they kind of spread that kind of stuff, and some say that was kind of tangled up in there. I don't know about all that kind of stuff. That's too deep for me. But I'm trying to tell you, he's wrestling. He says, I don't know about your schedule. I'm really not aware of your agenda, but let me just lay this on you. I will not let you go until you bless me. Oh, my Lord. He's alone. And the Bible says he's wrestling with a man. There's something to that, Alan. Because you see, when you're alone with God, you know who you wrestle with? You end up wrestling with yourself. Come on. You end up having to look at you. God has a way of taking you out of you and raising you up and let you look back at you and says, you see what you see? You claim you all that. Look at the way you really are. You thought you all that, but I'm looking at you. You can see what I see. Let me give you my view. Look at yourself. Stop trying to pretend you don't know what's going on. You know what's going on. Stop pretending you don't know how you messed up. You know what you did. Stop lying to yourself. You can't help but lie to other folk because you've been lying to yourself. At least tell yourself the truth. He's wrestling. He's wrestling. And the Bible says he's wrestling all night long. I wish I had a witness here. You can say what you want. He wrestled and he had to face the dirt. And ain't no sense you trying to talk about Jacob. All of us got some dirt. No sense you talk about his skeletons. All of us got some skeletons. For you holy rollers that think you've been all that, you lied to yourself all your life. You need to go home and spend some time with God. I'll tell you all the time, anybody who think they're perfect is somebody who don't pray. Because whenever you pray, you can't talk to God without seeing something wrong with you. Isaiah said it was in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. And when I saw the Lord, he was high and lifted up. He said, but I'll tell you something else. When I saw God, I noticed something about me. When I saw God, I saw that I was messed up. He said, I saw that I was a man of unclean lips. And he said, you know what? I'm not by myself. All the folk I hang out with, they are people of unclean lips. I wish I had a witness here. Oh yeah, whenever you see God, you're going to see your mess up. I said, like that old commercial when I was born, they used to have those commercials. They used to have cheer, and they used to have tithe and intensified tithe. And they bring out this little white garment, a white shirt, and that shirt looked all white and clean. And then when they said, you think this is white, then they bring that shirt that was washed in intensified tithe. And it was so white it made the first shirt look dirty. I said, that's the way God is. We think we all clean, and then you stand